The happiest people are doing the following. They're sleeping about 7.5 hours a day. If you're only sleeping 6 hours, you're about 30% less happy. You're moving at least 45 minutes a day. You're socializing, Dr. Nandi. Get this. The happiest Americans are socializing between 6 and 7 hours a day. And that's not Facebook. That's real human interactions, FaceTime.
Hi, you're watching the Dr. Nandi Show, and we've gotten great information and inspiration on how to live happy. But there's still maybe some naysayers who feel there's too much negativity and distractions in life to live happy. So I asked the amazing Dan Bentner, the best-selling author of the Blue Zone series, to weigh in via Skype from his California office. Dan, hey, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. And you've changed so many lives. For our viewers who are not familiar with your work, can you maybe briefly explain what the Blue Zones actually are?
Yeah, well, it's a concept of finding populations that do better than the rest of us and then distilling the lessons. So we did a series of books around parts of the world where people live the longest. Only about 20% of how long you live is dictated by your genes. The other 80% is lifestyle. And now I've just finished another book, The Blue Zones of Happiness, which finds the statistically happiest places in the world and distills the lessons. About 40% of how happy you are is dictated by your genes. About 15% is chance, and about 45% is under your control. And that's what we focused on.
And in your research, what drives happiness in individuals and countries?
Well, for the most part, it's the quality of social interactions. If I had to boil it down to one thing, do you have 5 good friends you can count on a bad day? Are those friends generally of good spirits? Is their idea of recreation physical activity? And then it's also very important that they eat healthy. We find that people are eating about 5 servings of vegetables a day are about 20% happier than people who just eat meat and cheese and eggs, etc.
And so we're talking about a whole process, not just going out and saying, I'll move to this place, but you actually have to eat properly, and also movement and moving together. How does that impact not only just happiness, but your longevity?
Yeah, so the happiest people are doing the following. They're sleeping about 7.5 hours a day. If you're only sleeping 6 hours, you're about 30% less happy. You're moving at least 45 minutes a day. You're socializing, Dr. Nandi. Get this. The happiest Americans are socializing between 6 and 7 hours a day. And that's not Facebook. That's real human interactions, FaceTime. And then they're spending quality time with their family. Bad news is they're only watching an hour of TV a day and no more. So after the Dr. Nandi show, you can turn your TV off.
I like that. But please watch the Dr. Nandi Show. You heard it from Dan right here. And it's important. The message he's talking about is, it's a complete lifestyle. And it's not just, I'm going to do this and be happy. It's a lifestyle. Eat the right way. Move. Have a tribe. It's all in all of those pursuits. And what's the common criticism that people have about the pursuit of happiness? You said earlier that trying to say, I'm going to become happy, is not really the right approach, but the pursuit of happiness is a little different. Tell us about that, and some people have some criticisms about that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit narcissistic to try to be happy by yourself all the time, and that never worked. Like positivity or savoring or appreciation journals, they're a lot like diets. They only work as long as we pay attention or have the discipline, and after 3 to 9 months, we run out of discipline. So I'm a much bigger advocate of paying attention to the right neighborhood. We know that neighborhoods that have sidewalks and that have easy access to parks and trees, people are more likely to be happy there. Really important to get the right job. And the most important thing about picking the right job, and this comes from 2 million surveys, is to have a best friend at work. So even if you don't like your job, making that effort to make a best friend is about the biggest sort of long-term thing you can do to improve your happiness at work.
And really it's about, we talk about this all the time on the show, having the right tribe, having the right group of people that can support you. And again, it's setting up a system. So what Dan's talking about is setting up your surroundings so you're more likely to have these outcomes. It's not saying that I'm going to do these things X, Y, and Z, to become happy, but rather setting up a system to see this is how I want to feel and this is the outcome that you want to get. You know, and lastly, how is your work really changing the mindset of people about living happy and healthy? I know you have changed the lives of millions of people that really looked at some of your original work and this work to say, this is how I can change your life. How is your current work really changing the mindset of people?
So with National Geographic, we've identified the policies that cities can adopt to make their citizens more likely to be happy. And with ShareCare, Blue Zones is actually taking on entire cities like Fort Worth, Texas, Naples, Florida, the whole state of Hawaii, that are adopting these policies to favor social interaction, to favor trust, to favor natural movement. And that, at the end of the day, is going to have more longer impact than anything else.
Dan, you're doing amazing things. I really appreciate you taking the time, not just now on the show, but in general, making it your life's work to change the habits of people to improve their health. Will you come back on our show sometime?
Anytime you want.
I appreciate
it's a love
it.
fest. I love your show, and thank you for having me on.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. You know, Dan is always amazing. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Partha Nandi. And if you enjoyed that video, you're going to love the next one. It's full of incredible information to help you start your health hero journey.